Thanks for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Brooke Buckner. Here are some of the stories we're bringing you on this Sunday evening. The Arkansas Department of Corrections is making changes that will change how inmates receive mail from friends and family, what they're looking for from the new digital system coming up. And President Trump is criticizing Maryland's governor as he builds the case for more deployments of National Guard troops. The details on his possible plans. Plus, the sentimental tow truck salute for the man they call the grandfather of Arkansas towing. Thanks for choosing THV 11 tonight. I hope you all are having a good weekend so far. If you're in the Morgan, Maumelle, or North Little Rock area, you may have seen this yesterday, something pretty out of the ordinary, as a line of around 50 tow trucks headed north down the interstate. But as THV 11's Carter Thweet shows us, the reason might not be what you'd expect.
Gerald was always the type that wasn't big on showing off and stuff like that. And Terry said something to me, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea. I said, if nothing else, it'd be one last time to aggravate Gerald.
Showing off is certainly a good way to describe what took place starting in Morgan Saturday morning. A line of around 50 tow trucks. There with a sentimental purpose. Earlier that morning, folks like Susie Kinnan had gathered at the Grays Memorial Baptist Church to honor her father-in-law, Gerald Kinnan.
We call him Peepaw, but Peepaw was the kind of guy who really taught us the value of hard work. He loved his family fiercely. There's nothing he wouldn't do for his grandkids. There's nothing he wouldn't do for his friends.
Gerald passed away on Monday, leaving behind not just a loving family, but quite a legacy in Arkansas's towing industry. That's according to Anthony Lay, who worked for Kinnan's company, A1 Recovery, for years before owning his own towing business.
It just connections over the years. He knows everybody, knew from when they started out to when they got better up in the industry.
He just built all these relationships with his coworkers, with other tow companies, with first responders, and he's taken care of Little Rock for a long time in that way.
Susie already has positive things to say about this past week, being with family and remembering the good times. But the procession, which started in Morgan and went an hour north to Kinnan's final resting place, was the icing on the cake.
When we found out as a family, we were incredibly touched that they would honor him in that way, because it's truly a testament to the kind of man he was.
He's a great guy, great friend. I mean, I'm sure going to miss him. One of the best guys around I've ever known.
In Morgan, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Thanks, Carter. Let's bring in meteorologist Simone Thomas now. Simone, I know we have some cooler temperatures on the way, but how soon can we start to see them?
Well, you start to see them really through this evening. Now, this afternoon, of course, most of us got up to the 90s, but that cold front I've been talking about is moving through the state. At this point, it's just south of the Little Rock Metro. It's draped through a couple of our neighboring states, where some of them, like Oklahoma off to our west, are picking up some rain. But that front here really just bringing in that drier, cooler air, like I said, just south of central Arkansas and the Little Rock Metro through the next couple hours. It'll move through southern Arkansas and out of the state, and we'll see the cooler air respond tomorrow. Right now, you can see the difference with those dew points up in northern Arkansas. Harrison and Mountain Home have dew points in the 40s thanks to that cold front. Lower 50s are those dew points in north central Arkansas. Here in central Arkansas, again, where we're just now feeling the effects of that front, could still see dew points in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and again across the state, temperatures in the 80s and 90s. But through the evening, that drier air moving in, and tomorrow we'll definitely feel the effects of the cooler air. Overnight, looking to see temperatures fall to the lower 70s and upper 60s. We'll talk more about the week ahead, though, coming up in your 7-day outlook.
All right, thank you, Simone. Tonight, Kedrick Johnson is preparing for his date in court 2 months after he was arrested in the Conway Park shooting that left 2 dead and 9 injured. According to Faulkner County jail records, he is set to appear tomorrow morning. Johnson faces 2 counts of capital murder, 9 counts of attempted capital murder, and 1 count of terrorism. Those are the same charges his brother Kamari faces. He was the last of the remaining suspects still on the run, but was caught Thursday night in Pine Bluff. The Arkansas Department of Corrections is making changes to how people send mail to inmates. They say all incoming mail will be sent to a digital mail processing center. It will be sorted, scanned, and uploaded to a tablet where the inmate can read it. Items including legal correspondence, books, magazines, and other packages will still be sent directly to the prison. Officials say the change is being made as part of an effort to keep contraband out of Arkansas prisons. President Trump traded insults with Maryland Democratic Governor Wes Moore as he considers sending National Guard troops to more U.S. cities. Willie James Inman reports on the day's developments from the White House.
President Trump glanced at paperwork as he arrived this morning at his golf course in Sterling, Virginia. He was active online this Sunday, questioning if Maryland Democratic Governor Wes Moore lied about getting a Bronze Star and threatening to rethink his decision to fund the rebuilding of Key Bridge, as well as offering to send federal troops to Baltimore to clean up crime. Moore said Sunday on CBS's Face the Nation he's deeply opposed to the president's deployment of National Guard troops in Washington, D.C.
It's unconstitutional. It's a direct violation of the 10th Amendment. And if for a party that talks about state rights, it's amazing how they're having such a big government approach in the way they're conducting public safety.
Last week, President Trump floated the possibility of sending troops to other large cities, including Chicago and New York, a plan the state's Republican Representative Mike Lawler supports.
I'd rather all of the above. The FBI, the DEA, ATF.
Democrats say there's no justification for such actions.
There's no basis, no authority for Donald Trump to potentially try to drop federal troops into the city of Chicago.
The possibility of deploying troops to more cities comes as federal and local statistics show crime has dropped in the past year. President Trump maintains federal intervention is needed to turn around a monumental crime problem, saying this on Friday.
D.C. was a hellhole, and now it's safe.
It's unclear how the president will legally support further deployment. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
The president has more oversight of Washington, D.C. because it's a federal district, not a state. Meanwhile, back here at home, local leaders attended a groundbreaking on the I-49 project they say will make it easier to get around the state. One of those was former Governor Asa Hutchinson, who helped spearhead the efforts to secure funding during his term. It's part one of a four-part project that aims to complete the corridor from Fort Smith to Texarkana, and it comes with a hefty price tag of $282.5 million. It's expected to be completed by 2029. And here's a heads up about some new state laws that just went into effect earlier this month and will impact you on the roads. The first is Act 327, which doubles fines for moving traffic violations in a mobile work zone. Previously, traffic fines were only doubled in static or stationary work zones. Act 209 puts green flashing lights on all RDOT construction and maintenance vehicles, and Act 117 adds more information about work zone safety in the Arkansas Driver's Manual and Test. There's also a new law that provides students with free meals at school. It's something Governor Sanders is hoping can help fight food insecurity and allow kids to succeed in the classroom. But the North Little Rock School District has taken it one step further with a pantry that opened a few years ago, allowing students to get anything they may need. Catherine Rowley spoke with some members of the district to learn more.
It's no judgment zone. We don't ask any questions. They just have to sign in and they can come in and get whatever they need.
More than 5% of the students in the North Little Rock School District are homeless. And as food insecurity continues to be a real issue across the state, the district is providing families with a place to go to get whatever they may need.
And some of our students are really suffering. We have a lot of students, and we even have homeless students that we try to make sure that when they leave and they go home that they have food, as well as some of our elementary schools, because over the weekend, hey, they have to have something to eat during those times as well.
Sarah Robertson is the wraparound services coordinator for the district. She told me that the pantry can serve between 30 and 100 families in a week.
We need healthy meals. You know, we love donations of ramen noodles and cup of noodles and things that kids can take home, but we also need canned vegetables, canned meat.
The district also provides hygiene products to students, something that Robertson says the pantry also needs, along with food.
And we want to make sure that every child in our school is ready to learn. And sometimes there are those things that happen that if we can meet that need right away, we can get those kids back in class and ready to keep going with their day.
It's that vision that the North Little Rock School District Superintendent Gregory Plusky helped with to bring the wraparound services to families.
Better understanding the needs of families, parents, and caregivers, and some things that might be barriers that sometimes they don't even have control over, like a food insecurity. And how do we help bridge that gap?
Now, school is only in session for 10 months of the year, but the services that the district provides last year-round, 24 hours, 7 days a week, for a purpose.
We serve kids, we serve parents, there's going to be a need at 10 o'clock at night. If we know about it, we will get to you.
In North Little Rock, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.